Welcome to this week's EMBN show. I'm joined by Blake Sampson from GMBN. We've got lots going on this week's show. We're talking about racing, we're talking about second-hand bikes. What else are we talking about?
Oh, we got all the usual. We got Climb of the Week, we got the Bike Vault, which I love. It's all coming up on this week's show.
So Blake, one of the questions we get asked here on EMBN is all about second-hand e-bikes. And would you take that gamble?
I would, because it'll be about budget. I don't want to go and spend a lot of money on a brand new bike, because you can get some good deals out there on the internet,
definitely.
or anywhere you can find a good e-bike, probably at the bike shop as well.
Definitely get a lot more bike for your money, can't you?
You do. So that's the main thing. Well, my friend's just bought one, for example. He just bought a Specialized Levo, frame only, motor and battery combined. Guess how much he bought that for?
Well, that bike's like $5-6 grand, so I'm guessing, what did you say, frame, motor and battery?
Yeah.
£1,500, £2,000?
£300. On eBay, you just pressed buy. You didn't even know, you just buy. Here's the story.
Steve, thanks for bringing your Levo in. It looks amazing. Now, this isn't your first e-bike, right?
No. Giant Trans SX.
Yeah. But you decided to buy this Levo. It came up for sale on eBay, right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
Frame, battery, motor, charger, shock, sub 5.
Wow! That is ridiculous. I mean, now it wasn't, am I right in saying it wasn't working when you bought it?
That's correct, yeah.
That must have worried you though, right?
No.
Why didn't it worry you that the motor's not running?
It's that new, it's still under warranty.
Right, okay.
So I wasn't bothered.
Now, you weren't scared the fact that you were buying a used e-mountain bike, right? So you made some calls.
I did, Berkshire Cycles, and had a chat with those guys.
What did they say?
They said it's more than likely the battery lead. We booked it in, took it up, they replaced the battery lead, and off we went working.
Wow, sub £500, it's ridiculous. I know maybe the wife is listening, but what do you think you've spent total on getting this second-hand, non-functioning e-bike up and running?
Oh my God.
Ballpark?
Under 2.
Right, wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's living proof that you can actually buy a second-hand e-bike and get a real bargain.
Whoa, that has to be the biggest bargain of the century, right?
£300. That's a cost. That costs the price of a battery.
Less than half of a battery for that bike. So that was.
And it's only because of a cable.
Yeah, definitely. And that shows that a bargain's definitely to be had out there. But if we are committing to buying second-hand, what are the things we need to be looking out for?
Oh, for me, I think it'll be the battery, if it holds power, if it charges, and then the motor. If it's making some horrible grinding noises, I'm going to stay clear of it, yeah.
And I think for me, frame is really important. You need to check all around the welds, every single part of that bike, if it's dented or cracked. That would definitely be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
And I think suspension as well, you need to check out all like the coatings of the shock, the forks, if there's any dents, scratches, marks in that, then that's going to be a really expensive item to replace as well.
Leaking and all that jazz. And then for a drivetrain is one of them as well, because that's what's powering that biker along from that motor. You want to see if that's all in running order.
Yeah.
Because a drivetrain on that could be very expensive.
Yeah, you can take obviously a big high-wear item on the e-bike as a drivetrain, and if you have got to replace one part, chances are you've got to replace. If the chain's worn, it means the cassette's going to be worn and the chain ring's going to be worn. It's not just simply a matter of replacing one of those things.
Yeah.
Obviously, big things like drop a seat post as well. They can be expensive. Just check all those little things, fork seals. The list goes on. Just check that bike head to toe. Get someone. If you don't know anything about e-bikes, just try and take someone that does know a little bit about those bikes.
Exactly.
And if there is something that's going to cost £200 to replace, get £200 knocked off the price, right?
Exactly. Also, do a little bit of background check. If you know the guy, you can go on his Facebook or wherever, his social media, just to see how he's been riding that bike.
Yeah, if you see him doing 30-foot backflips over some doubles, chances are that bike's had a pretty hard life.
Yeah, so maybe take that into consideration. But there's loads of other apps out there, so if you want to know if that battery's been charged X amount of times or how many hours that bike's been ridden, if it's been ridden hard, all these apps that are bikes that are Bluetooth compatible can show you this. Yeah, connect it to your smartphone. You get a readout of that bike's life and how it's feeling. Generally, if it's healthy, I think the Specialized app is really good for that. It shows every single little detail of the bike, how many miles it's done, how many charges it's done, just the general life of the bike. And of course, there's always, if you go to a shop, you've got that option too. I think it's obviously going to cost a little bit more, but you've always got that fallback with warranty if things do go wrong. It might be a short warranty, it'd be like 30 days or something. But
if something was to go drastically wrong with that bike, you know, if you turn it on the next day and it doesn't turn on,
you can't take it back.
No, well, you can take it back to the shop.
So
But if you brought it privately, the guy'd be like, no, sorry, sold.
Now this is a question for you. Where would you buy it? Bike shop or privately on the internet? For me, I reckon if it's private, because you can haggle. And it's in good driving distance, you can actually go look at the bike, you can see it, you can test it, you can feel it, you can, you know, you can have a good thing, as well as going to a bike shop.
I don't know, I think I'd always go for the bike shop for me. Just, I'll pay that a little bit more, but that peace of mind I'm going to get from buying from a bike shop would win over the private sale.
Yeah, also you get that little bit of warranty, like you said, 30 days, you can take it back if it goes wrong, whereas Joe Blogs down the road, if it goes wrong, he's like, nah,
exactly.
Sold as seen, sorry.
Loads of bargains to be had. Just do a lot of research before you commit to it, and you can certainly definitely pick up a bargain. You might even get a Levo for 300 quid. Moving on from that, we've got the UCI World Champs. We talked about this in a previous show, but big news is that the e-bike category winners, men and women, are getting exactly the same prize money as the cross-country elite men and women. So big
news.
Big news in, and they're getting a e-bike World Champs jersey as well. So
wow!
Looks really, really cool. Big news is that Tweedlove Festival, the big mountain bike festival, has incorporated the Bosch eMTB challenge.
Oh, nice!
So that was traditionally out in Europe, but they're bringing it to England, and Tweedlove are hosting it. So basically, it's the 9th of June. It's a 30-kilometre loop with 1,000 metre of climbing. But I really like the way they've done this.
Wow.
Actually, it's not just a race. So they've done no practice on the stages on the enduro, so it's going to be totally blind. And they're using like an orienteering loop between stages, so you've got checkpoints that you've got actually got to go to. And if you miss a checkpoint, you've got a 10-second penalty coming up. Another cool thing, you've obviously got your time stage, but they've done like a trials observation section as well, which is no feet down zone. So you've got to go through those, keeping your feet up, incorporated all the way through. And again, so you've got trials, orienteering, and e-bike loops.
Whoa!
Can't go wrong with that. And it's definitely a really exciting format, and I think that's what the e-bikes could be suited to. So we've been checking out social media this week, and what have we seen?
Oh, Paul Basagosha, if you don't know who he is, he was a big influence into slopestyle mountain biking back in the day. He did the Rampage, Red Bull Rampage. He had a massive accident there, which was a bit life-threatening. And just to our astonishment, he's up riding his bike after a huge back injury. So it's good to see him out on his bike again.
Wheels off the ground. He's actually moved into a team manager role for Ride Concepts. So he's managing the whole team. Bit of influence for a big name like that. It's going to do big things for them. So really cool to see cool to see him back on a bike for one. And extra cool to see him with wheels off the ground, adding a bit of style to that. Something we definitely wouldn't have imagined.
Exactly. We both used to compete against him.
Big name. He used to win literally everything.
He was a big Red Bull rider. It was pretty cool.
And on Instagram, I checked out this guy, Fabian Faharad. Don't know how to really say that name, but doing this massive road gap.
Wow.
Looks huge, doesn't it?
Huge.
And it's so good to see guys sending stuff like that on e-bikes. Landing a little bit deep there, but massive as well.
He's sending it.
Talking of e-bikes, we had an amazing game of bike, didn't we?
Yeah, I think because of the e-bike you won.
You think?
Yeah.
A lot of cheating going on there, wasn't there?
There was a lot of cheating because,
You need to check out the video, but it was a really exciting game. We both had 180mm travel bikes on the streets. Welcome to this week's Electrics. Today we're going to be taking a look at getting the vital drop-off skill nailed. As with all techniques, a drop-off is something you definitely need to be taking in little bite-sized chunks, working your way up through the progression on it. Best way if you've never done a drop though is to find a nice bit of flat ground like this, scrape a line down or mark a line on the floor, and then imagine that's your big drop that you're trying to do. Get the technique dialed on this, then you can move it away to something a little bit bigger and work your way up with bite-sized chunks. As you approach the line that you've marked on the floor, come in with good speed, pedals level, give the bike a squash into the ground, transfer your weight backwards whilst pulling up with the handlebars to perform a little mini manual off of the line. Then just keep practicing that over and over, and then just move on to the next size drop. If you pick something that isn't too big, isn't going to hit your chain ring, you should be able to progress fairly easy. So I've just found this drop. This is ideal to learn on. It's definitely the next step up from learning from the line, but but it's about a foot and a half high. But what I do like about this is if I don't get my technique dialed, even my chainring isn't actually going to hit. So it's going to be really close, but certainly if I get my technique wrong, it isn't going to result in a big crash. Something like this is ideal to progress on. When you first come to checking that drop out, you really need to have a look at your run in and the run out. Just have a look, make sure there's nothing you're going to hit, or there's no funny kicks on the takeoffs. Because if your wheels hit that, could end up bucking you or making you a funny shape just as you commit to the drop. Another really nice tip for you, if the drop off is blind, is to scuff your line in so you can actually see your desired line. A lot of these drops when you come into them are totally blind. So having that little line is just going to make sure you can hit your desired landing spot. So there you go, drop-offs are a hell of a lot of fun and something you shouldn't be scared of out on the trail. So it's time for climb of the week. We've got a few different submissions coming in. You like the crashes on
I
this
love
usually?
crashes. I did think this was fails and bails.
Well, I put a little one in for you as well, Blake.
Big e-bike going down
got a
the
broken
hill.
arm in this week.
Oh my gosh.
But this is Gordon. He's been sending us in some clips from Hale. He's riding the Towans big sand dune ride.
I've been there.
I've been there as well on holiday.
Yeah, there was a massive step up we did there.
Yeah, back down.
Yeah,
That looks pretty cool. Carving his way down the sand.
Yeah, it's
super
crazy.
sketchy.
Super. Oh, that was nuts, he said. Crazy.
I got Andrew out here on his commensal as well. North van, riding the North Shore in the snow.
No, I would not ride in that snow.
That's asking for trouble, isn't it? But he looks pretty good.
Yeah,
this is a crash as well, Blake. This is Colin with his Mom Draker E-Crafty and Landegler. Put a picture for the bike vault and literally 5 minutes later smashed his arm to pieces in hospital.
I want to see that footage.
You want to see that footage?
I want to see that footage. The video of that.
Maybe it'll be in fails and bails next
probably,
week.
Yeah, probably.
Cheers for sending the content in. We love to see it here on EMBN. If you guys got any videos or pictures, send them in to us via the upload service. Details are on screen on how to get that footage to us.
Right, it's time for Ghetto Tag.
Was that your best Welsh?
Best Welsh.
Steve Jones impression.
Yeah, Steve Jones. Ghetto Tag.
We've got Anjay Regini has dropped this in for us. He says, I hate full mud guards, but I do use an arse saver, so that's a little tiny mud guard.
Thing on the back, yeah.
But they're not great. I was fed up with getting a wet and muddy backside in the winter. So the other day I took a pair of scissors to a cheap pair of old over trousers and they work a dream. And now I have a wet, warm arse. What do you think on that, Blake?
He took a pair of scissors to a pair of over trousers. That means he's cut holes in it.
Yeah, basically cut them into shorts. But I'm asking, why don't you just run the full trousers and keep your legs clean as well?
Yeah, there you go.
So in the comments this week, we had a lot of feedback on last week's show with Steve and Georgia. Is e-bike racing cool? Tim C got into us, dropped us a line. Great, in competition has to be limited to a 500 watt category in my opinion.
Okay, yeah.
When you get too far above this, the e-bike becomes an e-moped, etc. So the 500 series, multi-challenge, mountain and trail. So yeah, I kind of like
It would be like a super series and normal series.
Yeah, or the other categories I've seen is restricted and de-restricted. So you've got like an open category. Oh. So I think if the courses were tech enough and like hard enough, and there's only a certain speed that those riders can ride that trail on.
Yeah.
So I think a de-restricted category, you know, even up against like a massive power twist throttle bike, I think if you're a good rider on a standard pedal bike, de-restricted, you could hang with those guys.
You could hang with it. That's a good one. We got one from Scott. It says a good e-bike race would include steeper climbs in traditional mountain bike race, but those motors should be smoking hot, like being used and abused.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's what we need to see more of in those e-bike races. We're not talking about a standard cross-country route. We need to spice things up, get things super steep up and down, definitely.
Yeah. Bit like the Erzberg.
Yeah, Erzberg Road. Oh, imagine that. A lot of pushing on an e-bike.
Hills has been there.
Yeah, it's down though.
Down, not up.
So Mika Hakkinen. Is it Mika Hakkinen?
The rally guy was the Formula 1 guy.
Rally, wasn't he? Toyota driver back in the day. You know these things, mate.
You know.
But he says, my take for most bike racing is as follows. Cool when you do it by yourself, uncool to watch. I guess that would apply for e-bike racing too. I like watching downhill biking from time to time, but other sports centered around cycling is pretty much meh for me personally. Meh. Though I have to say, I'm not good at following any other sports overall either. But I think if that e-bike racing was spiced up enough, you know, I think cross-country racing is pretty cool to watch. But if you stepped it up and added big features and stuff like we talk about, it would be an amazing thing to watch, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, thanks. Keep sending those comments in. Keep commenting on the videos and read them out, hopefully, on next week's show.
Oh, yeah. Right, you ready to jump in that jet to fly around the world?
I'm ready. Where are we going?
I don't know.
We are off to Steetley Quarry in Doncaster in the UK.
That is there.
That is just there. We got this one in from Ian on his Kenevo. I used to ride this back in the day, actually, one of my old stomping grounds. But yeah,
wall riding that. Wow, no, he's big jump.
Big jumps.
Whoa.
There's 3 different Kenevos there, looking,
that looking fresh.
Been progressing over the year with the Kenevo. Get so many runs in at a place like this.
The graffiti on the bikes.
Yeah,
that's sick.
It's amazing.
Nice.
Sending it.
Yeah.
Right, get that plane ready.
Ready.
We are off to Malaysia.
Oh, it's there. Yeah.
We've got Kenny sending us Turbo Levo. Just finished modding my bike with Schwalbe G1 all round so I can ride on road and gravel with the eMTB.
That's a crazy trail dog.
Yeah, get some big mileage out of those, I'd imagine,
yeah.
increasing that. But yeah, good work. You ready, Blake?
Yeah.
We're in there again. We're going off to Northwest Germany for Chris on his High Bike Extra Enduro 3.0.
Germanland.
2019 one as well, so fresh bike.
Well, that's fresh, that, and really nice.
50 years old, rides 30 to 40k a day.
Wow, that's one full battery. That's a full battery.
And
look at that.
Final stop is Finland.
That's up here.
Kangasala from Risto. He's riding his Canyon Neuron on across a frozen lake as well.
Don't fall in, mate, you'll get cold.
Looks pretty cold.
Yeah. What's coming down on the channel this week?
You mean up, right?
I mean, sorry, yeah, up.
Yeah, coming up on the channel this week, Friday, we've got how to climb stairs on an e-bike. So
I'm gonna have to watch this one because you beat me in that challenge in that game of bike.
Definitely. And on Sunday, we've got Steve taking on the biggest challenge of his life. Something that I think he might have found the limits of what an e-bike can actually climb.
Ooh,
so it looks a really cool video.
Look at that.
Really good way of supporting what we do here on EMBN is checking out the EMBN shop. Lots of cool stuff on there. We've got puffer jackets, t-shirts. We've got the new red t-shirts
in. Nice.
Blue ones, green ones, loads of cool stuff on there. A really good way of supporting the channel. So get in there and check out the EMBN shop for all your merch.
It's the bike vault, where everyone sends in their nice bikes so we can look at them and give them a nice, super nice. You ready?
I'm ready, right.
Get in there.
Let's get into it then, Blake.
Ready.
You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Let's get into it then. This is Paul. We sent in his Giant Trans E+2.
Oh.
Just got into it.
I like that blue colour.
Super nice.
Super nice. That. Like the trail. Super nice.
Going straight in with super nice?
Please.
Got this Ian.
There's 2 bikes. So no, like, 2 bikes.
We don't mind that here on EMBN.
Oh, you don't mind that? Okay, right.
As you guys.
Well, that's good. So that's nice.
2018 Troy Lee Designs Kenevo and the 2019 blue one as well. Lee Quarry out in the UK as well, and he's taking his mate out to show him what they're capable of.
Oh, I think that's pretty good, huh?
Pretty good. You think it's nice or super nice?
I think that's super nice, mate.
It's another super nice.
It's super nice.
Get them out today.
That's 2 super nices for that.
Straight away. This is Andrew, Cube Stereo Action Team, Winlatter Forest, group ride at Winlatter.
Nice.
Nice looking bikes, isn't it?
Nice, yeah, it's nice.
Just a nice for that one?
Yeah, well, the wheel's out. What the flip?
I saw this one in this garage.
Hashtag no filter.
So it's got a lot of HDR processing going on this, but really nice picture. Specialised Kenevo expert.
Wow, it's nice.
Pontypridd in Wales as well, exploring the abandoned CWN colliery.
That looks like a good place for a game of bike. Or
yeah, I know. I checked this out actually on Google Earth after seeing this. And it does look an amazing game of bike. Be good to hear if we can get in there and actually explore. But
nice.
Nice.
Oh, 2 bikes again. I get a bit weirded out, man.
But a bit weirded out by 2 bikes.
Yeah.
This is Alan. 120, 800 in the background on the Isle of Wight.
Is that the Isle of Wight?
Yeah.
No way, super nice.
Straight
Only because I live on the Isle of Wight, super nice double. Oh, that's the Scott, whatever.
Yeah,
Genius
Scott
900. Tuned.
Watergrove Reservoir near Rockdale.
Wow, that's nice. How's that stood up there?
Don't know.
Is that on a log or something?
It's got a stand button, I think, pressed on.
Oh, wow. E-stand.
Were you thinking nice?
Nice.
This one in from Mark as well. High bike S0, hard 7. Can't really see the bike.
Is that a water bottle?
It's not a water bottle, it's a battery.
That's battery. Nice.
This one in from...
Oh, no, that looks stealthy, doesn't it?
Derek Cube Stereo Hybrid 140, Derwent Valley near Sheffield.
Derek, that's lovely.
63-year-old, just getting back into it.
Desert, nice bike, mate.
Nice.
Nice.
And that's it, we're out of Bike Vault.
Oh no.
Keep sending the bikes into us via the upload service. Details are on screen. You never know, next week could be your bike in the Bike Vault.
You get a super nice.
So that's it for this week's show. Cheers for joining us, Blake.
Thank you very much.
It's been good. Don't forget you can subscribe to EMBN by clicking the globe in the middle of the screen. Drop some comments in the box below. Also, give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it.
But if you want to stick around and watch another video on EMBN, click over here where Steve goes out there into the big world and finds the best place to ride an e-bike.
Thanks for joining us.
See ya!